Audio Jungle.
Technology evolution. Several lessons in this book have discussed the remarkable contribution of information and communication technology in transforming education today. However, users are overwhelmed with the magical effect of technology, so much so that they have not seriously looked into the merit and value of technology. This is where the concept of evaluation comes. What is testing? What is assessment? And what is evaluation? Testing is an intervention or an approach used to examine a person's knowledge of something in order to determine what he or she knows or learns. Examinations are designed to measure one's level of knowledge and skills based on predetermined learning goals. Assessment is the process of describing, collecting, recording, scoring, and interpreting information about learning. And also, on the other hand, evaluation is simply defined as a process of making judgment based on a criteria and evidence. Technology evaluation started in the United States of America at the end of 1960s when large-scale application of technology began to affect dramatically the life of citizens. Technology evaluation is a set of principles, methods, and techniques and tools for effectively assessing the potential value of a technology and its contribution to a company or a region or an industrial sector. We have different types of evaluation. Formative evaluation is one type of evaluation which is normally conducted during the development of a program in 1991. Summative evaluation is another type of evaluation which is usually conducted at the end of an operating period of a program or project. It also focuses on examining the effect or outcomes of a project or program. There are different types of methods of evaluation. Qualitative methods cover a wide range of methods using several types of data, and they can provide insights into the complex dynamics of the actual intervention in a given context and improve interventions. Quantitative methods are used to analyze large amounts of data, particularly when data are expressed in numbers. Experimental and quasi-experimental methods are particularly well suited to draw conclusions about causality, whether a development intervention is actually the cause of changes observed. And what are the benefits of technology evaluation? First, provides a short and long-term feedback to stakeholders as basis for decision making, measures the value and merit of technology program or initiative, and also it guides in setting strategies, directions, and educational program management. This is Maria Rica Valoro, reporting.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Proud Crystal Jan Canubas, your reporter for today. Our topic was all about technology in the constructivist learning environment. In this topic, we explained fully the concept of learning environment, discuss and put in context the various constructivist learning principles, and create a technology-supported constructivist learning environment. Learning environment refers to the diverse location, context, and cultures in which students learn. The term also encompasses the culture of a school or class, its presiding ethos and characteristics, including how individuals interact with and treat one another, as well as the ways in which teachers may organize an educational setting to facilitate learning. The picture shows teachers' perspective of a learning environment. As illustrated in the model, there are some components where the teacher may have little control, such as the learner's characteristics and resources. However, there are other components, such as the choice of content and learning support, where the teacher may have full control. Under each major components are set of subcomponents that should be taken into account, namely content, learning activities, feedback, and use of technology, assessment strategies, and others where real decisions are to be made. Given the basic concept of a learning environment, let us now focus on the constructivist learning environment and the role of the technology. The term constructivist is rooted from the theory of constructivism. In 1961, Jerome Bruner developed the theory of constructivism. His constructivist theory was influenced by the earlier theoretical research of Lev Vygotsky and Jean Piaget. Bruner's constructivist framework supports the belief that the learners construct new ideas and concepts based on their existing knowledge. He presented the idea that the children could be active problem solvers and are capable of exploring more difficult subjects of instruction. Basic constructivist principle. To create and develop a technology-supported constructivist learning environment, we need to understand and consider the following constructivist learning principles. Learning is an active process. It requires learners to be engaged in learning activities that will enable them to construct their own knowledge and understanding. People learn to learn as they learn. The act of learning involves constructing meaning and constructing system of meaning. Every meaning or construct enable us to give meaning to other related senses and perceptions that similar patterns. Construction of meaning is cognitive. It takes place in the mind. Physical activities and hands-on experience may be necessary for learning. However, it may not be sufficient. So teachers need to design learning activities that will involve both mind and hand of the students. Learning involves language. Research studies have emphasized the influence of language and learning, particularly the role of talk in the classroom. Learning is a social activity. Learning is highly associated with the degree of connection and interaction we make with other human beings, our teachers, peers, our families, and others. Through dialogues and conversations with others makes us learn. Knowledge is needed in order to learn. We cannot assimilate new knowledge without having some structure developed from previous knowledge to build on. So whatever we teach, we must have connection to the learner's state and provide a path into the subject for the learner based on his previous knowledge. Learning is not instantaneous. In learning, we usually recall ideas, reflect, and try on them and eventually use them. And when we ponder on this cluster of thoughts and ideas, we are actually engaging in meaning making, and therefore this takes time. Motivation is a key component in learning. In any act of learning, motivation plays a crucial role. Teachers understand that the source of motivation may be intrinsic or extrinsic. Motivation here includes an understanding of ways in which the new knowledge may be used. Extrinsic motivation, it motivated to perform an activity to earn a reward or avoid a punishment. And the intrinsic motivation, it is motivated to perform an activity for its own sake and personal rewards. The next update will be reported by Ms. Navarro. Ms. Navarro?
Good afternoon, RMMC. The use of technology in the learning environment has been highly appreciated with the application of the constructivist learning principles. Today's instructional technology has the features and capabilities to support learning. The emergence and the widespread use of social media and other online apps support with the constructivist principle that learning is a social activity. It involves interaction between and among learners. Instructional technology have unique abilities and features that can engage students in critical thinking and reasoning, making in the process of acquiring new knowledge and skills. The use of online instructional resources like whiteboard collaborative learning where the students can build a community of learners. Each of those tools invite collaboration by structuring the kinds of contribution. Learners can make supporting meaningful relationships among those contributions and guiding students into. In addition, sophisticated technology communication tools can capture the cognitive process learning, engage and when solving problems. The interactive and manipulative features of those communication tools provide learning opportunities for the students to explore and discover the world and its relationship to their subject of study. Here are the teacher rules in constructivist learning environment. Teachers who use information and communication technologies are more likely to have a constructivist perspective towards teaching and learning. Teachers in constructivist classes assume the following. First is an expert who can guide students into adapting cognitive strategies such as self-testing, articulating, understanding, asking probing questions, and reflection. Second, an organizer of information around big ideas that engage the students in developing new insights and to connect them with their previous learning. Third is designer of learner-centered learning activities that will encourage students to ask their own questions, carry out their own experiments, make their own analogs, and come to their own conclusion. And lastly, a guide, a coach, and a mentor in the process of constructing knowledge. And I am Nina Alnavar, and I am the third reporter.
So, good morning, good afternoon, RMC. My name is Marisa Nana Bansilao. Today, I will report the concept of educational technology. So, what is the concept of educational technology? So, as a learner, have you observed students using their laptop, computers? So, it seems like that every learner and the teacher are users of technology. Teachers is aware that technology is how to stay and be useful tools in enhancing teaching, learning activities. So, in the concept educational technology is the field of study that investigates the process of analyzing, designing, environment, implementing, and evaluating the instructional environment, learning materials, learners, and the learning process in order to improve teaching and learning.
Educational technology, simplest explanation. Educational technology is a broad term. Oftentimes, however, it is given a narrow meaning, meaning just hardware. refers to the use of all human inventions and discoveries to satisfy our educational need and desire. That is learning. These inventions and discoveries can be devices, tools, equipment, activities, procedures, and processes. Included among these human inventions are the various educational media. Educational technology is more than instructional technology in the same way that education is more than instruction. Technology integration is part of instructional technology, which in turn is part of educational technology. Educational technology is different from technology in education. Technology in education refers to application of technology in the operation of education institutions. On the other hand, educational technology refers to the application of technology in the educative process that takes place in such educational institutions.
Afternoon, RMC. Again, I'm Marisa Nana Bansalao. Magandang RMC.
Good day everyone. Next is the domains of educational technology. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to identify the different domains of educational technology, describe each domain of educational technology, differentiate each domain from the other, and generalize the domains of educational technology. Follow a cycle. 5 domains of educational technology. First is design, development, utilization, management, evaluation. First is the domain 1, which is the design. So the theory and practice of design includes instructional system design or ISD, instructional strategies, and learners' characteristics. So theory and practice. So the components of it is instructional system design, instructional strategies, and learners' characteristics, pushing a framework to guide in planning the educational technology. Instructional design or instructional system design or ISD is the practice of creating instructional experience which make the acquisition of knowledge and skill more efficient, effective, appealing. Next is instructional strategies. A designer uses instructional strategy theories as principle for instruction and chooses them based on the learning situation, learning environment, and learning task. The last one is learner characteristics. Each learner has past experience or even innate qualities that impact effectiveness of learning process. Next is domain 2, which is development. So development is the process of translating the design specification into physical form. It includes hardware, software, visual auditory materials, programs, or packages which integrate the various parts. First, we must know the print technologies. To print and visual materials, including books, photographs, and graphics, involve the most basic ways of producing delivering instructional materials. Next is audiovisual technologies. Audiovisual technologies enhances teaching methods and improve student comprehension. Lesson plan that incorporate the use of audiovisual aids should be consistent with curriculum objectives. Next is computer-based technologies. Computer-based technologies use screen displays to present information to students. Information is stored electronically in form of digital data rather than as print or visuals. Next, the last one is the integrated technologies. Integrated technologies are ways to produce and deliver materials. Next is domain 3, which is utilization. This is the oldest of the domains because regular use of 3D materials produced, even concern for production of instructional media. So utilization is the act of using processes and resources for. Those engaged in utilization are responsible for matching learner with specific materials and activities, preparing learners for interacting with the selected materials and activities, providing guidance during interaction, providing for assessment of the results, and incorporating this usage into continuing procedure of the organization. Next is domain 4, which is the management. So management is the coordination and administration of resources as well as support and transformation of knowledge. Programs, projects, and settings may differ greatly, but the basic skills necessary to manage remain constant. So these skills include planning and organizing programs, supervising personnel, planning and administering budget and facilities. Next is coordinating policies and procedures and providing leadership. The last domain is evaluation. So evaluation is the process of determining the merit, worth, or value of an instructional program, project, or product for the purpose of making a judgment. So the focus is on the instructional program, project, or product, not on learners. So personal evaluation may play into the evaluation of an instructional program or project, but is also not focused with this domain.